This is the OTB Network.
Welcome to this week's edition of Horses and Courses. I'm Anthony Mormino, sitting in for Gene Wood as we go over the racing from Hollywood Park, Calder Racecourse, Belmont. We have a race from Woodbine, closing day at Lone Star, Ellis Park. Big racing as we get near the summer highlights. Kicking off the racing, the big day at Calder Racecourse, the third annual Summit of the Speed. Sprint races galore, $1.5 million in purses. They kicked it off with the second running of the Rocket Man Stakes. This is for 2-year-olds and up, going 2 furlongs.
Ready for start, and they're off in the Rocket Man Stakes. Viva Pentelicus in the middle of the track. Baby Shark rushes up toward the inside. Roy's Ruckus is between them. Then at the rail, Inevitable Impact. They come past the 8th pole. It's Baby Shark in front by 2.5 lengths, and they're not going to get him today. On the inside, moving up next, it's Roy's Ruckus. Toward the outside, Kelly's Hero. This is all Baby Shark. Wins it by 5.
Baby Shark, who originally was 6-1 on the morning line, bet down to 3-5, draws off under Rudy Dominguez to win by 4 lengths. This offspring by Dover Ridge out of a Bear Hunt mare made all of the running after breaking sharply while being bumped under Rudy Dominguez. The final running time of the second Rocket Man Stakes is 20-4, tying the track record. Continuing on with the sprinting at Calder, next up is the Smile Handicap, named after the Eclipse Award winning sprinter of 1986. We had shippers galore going after the big purse. So let's return to the Summit and the Speed and the Smile Handicap.
And they're off in the Smile Sprint Handicap. On the outside, Echo Eddie and Orientate both break sharply. Next toward the inside comes Tour of the Cat. Half length back, it's Built Up. Then toward the rails, that's Sweeping Smoke. Half length back between horses, it's Crafty CT, and a half length to the outside, Junior Deputy. They move up the backstretch to the half-mile pole. Orientate on the outside with a short lead. Echo Eddie at the rail is right there. It's 3.5 lengths back to Crafty CT, moving up third. Built Up on the outside is fourth, another length and a half to the outside. That's Junior Deputy. Then toward the rail, it's Tour of the Cat, and 2 lengths back, Sweeping Smoke. First quarter, they blistered in 21-2. They move toward the quarter pole. Orientate on the outside leads a half length. Echo Eddie at the rail is second, 2.5 lengths to the outside. Built Up comes on third. Then to the inside, it's Crafty CT. The half in 44-1, and they move to the 8th pole. Orientate now leads by a length. To the inside, Echo Eddie. Down the middle of the track, that's Built Up. Then toward the inside, it's Crafty CT. They come through the final 16th. It's Orientate in front by 3, and they're not going to get him today. Orientate takes the Smile Sprint Handicap by 4. Echo Eddie saves the place at the rail. Crafty CT was third.
Orientate for Wayne Lukas going very well. Wayne Lukas lost Snow Ridge, an outstanding sprinter early in the year, but Orientate, who has won sprints now at Keeneland, Churchill Downs, wins the $400,000 Smile Sprint Handicap. Mike Smith riding very well. He put Orientate on the front end with blistering fractions of 21-2, 44-1, defeating Echo Eddie and Jerry Bailey, who was down at Calder aboard Crafty CT, who we saw last up at Belmont Park in the Metropolitan Mile, shortened up to 6 furlongs. They installed Crafty CT as the 4-5 choice, but was only able to finish third. Orientate and Offspring by Mount Livermore out of a Cox's Ridge mare seems to have come into his own as a 4-year-old sprinting. I presume Wayne Lukas will keep him sprinting on his way to the Breeders' Cup Sprint this year after trying the Breeders' Cup Classic as a 3-year-old. Orientate is owned by Bob and Beverly Lewis. Got the 6 furlongs in 1:09 and 4. Next up, the 28th running of the Azalea. This is for 3-year-old fillies going 6 furlongs.
They're all in the gate. And they're off in the Azalea Breeders' Cup Stakes. Toward the outside, that's Nice Boots Baby trying for the lead. Middle of the track, C-Span rushes up. Then to the inside, it's Bold World. It's a length back to the outside. That's Mississippi Halo fourth. It's another length and a half back from between horses to Raging T-Rex. Then toward the outside, that's Shula Miss moving at the rail. It's Respectful. Then Copper Bell. Far outside, Willa on the move. And 3 lengths back, it's Harry's Best Promise. They went the first quarter in 21 and 3. They leave the backstretch and move to the 3/8 pole. C-Span has a short lead. On the outside, Nice Boots Baby is right there second. Bold World to the inside. Half length to the outside, it's Mississippi Halo. Then it's a length back to Willa on the move, circling horses. Then to the inside, that's Copper Bell. The field comes past the quarter pole to the Azalea Breeders' Cup Stakes. C-Span with a short lead. On the far outside, Bold World ranges up to get the lead. They move to the 8th pole. Bold World now has the lead. Between horses, Chula Miss comes on. Then to the outside, Willa on the move. They come to the 16th pole. This is all Bold World. She's going to take the Azalea Breeders' Cup Stakes and do it easily. It's Bold World in front, and they're not going to get her today. A photo for the place between Chula Miss and Willa on the move.
The Azalea won by Bold World as the second choice at 5-2, defeating the 8-5 chalk Willa on the move. Bold World, a Florida bred who has won 6 of her last 7, including 3 in a row, having exited consecutive listed stakes victories at Monmouth Park. Bold World won a sprint race in the Florida Stallion Series last autumn at Calder, going 7 furlongs under Calvin Burrell. Willa on the move exited back-to-back second-place finishes in the Miss Preakness and the Grade 1 Acorn Stakes. She was shortening up and was distanced as Bold World won by 8.5 lengths, but Willa on the move, ridden by Rudy Dominguez, was able to nose out Chula Miss. Chula Miss was 67-1 on the board, completing a trifecta, which came back only $306. As they continued rolling with very nice purses, the Kerryback Stakes, named after the outstanding racehorse of the early 60s. This was the 28th running of the Kerryback Handicap.
They're all in the gate. And they're off in the Kerryback Stakes. Kingmaker came out a step slow. In the middle of the track, moving for the lead, is Day Trader. Then toward the inside, that's a Firm Cat. A length back to the outside, Royal Lad. Another half length back, it's Handsome Hunk. A length and a half toward the inside, Kingmaker moves up after the slow start. Friendly Frolics on the outside. A length back, that's Bog Hunter. Then toward the inside, it's Captain Squire. And on the outside, World Trade. They went the first quarter, a quick 21-1. They leave the backstretch, move to the 3/8 pole. From between horses, that's Day Trader. Royal Lad moves on the outside. At the rail, a Firm Cat is back to third. 3 more lengths to Kingmaker. Then on the outside, it's Captain Squire with World Trade. Handsome Hunk is there between horses. There's less than a quarter of a mile to go in the Kerryback Stakes. On the outside, Royal Lad is ranged up to get the lead by a length and a half. Day Trader at the rail is second. Angling off the rail, Captain Squire comes on third. Then it's 2 lengths back to Kingmaker. They're in the final furlong. It's Royal Lad by 3. Captain Squire, the only one with a chance to get him. They're in the final 16th. It's Royal Lad in front, and they're not going to get him today. Royal Lad takes the carry back by a diminishing length and a quarter. It was Captain Squire's second. A photo for the show.
Royal Lad, Jerry Bailey scores out, defeating Captain Squire, who's the 2-1 choice. Royal Lad back early in the pace, 21-1 for the opening quarter mile. Royal Lad sitting third, almost 2 lengths behind the dueling Day Trader and a Firm Cat as they scintillated the opening terms. 44-2, just about cooked all of them. Royal Lad, having sat off that pace, showed out to be much the best as he extended himself at the top of the stretch and then was able to hang on and win by a comfortable length and a half. Captain Squire was 6 lengths better than Friendly Frolic, ridden by Mark Guidry, who was 21-1. Royal Lad by Mount Brook, a very sharp sprinter in the early 90s out of On to Glory Mare, returns $7.80 and trips the teletimer in 1:10.3. Well, the premier race at the summit of the speed with much money handed out in sprint races is the highest purse for fillies and mares to run for while sprinting. This is the Princess Rooney Handicap, named after a great, great horse of the 1980s. 6 furlongs is the distance. We were having a rematch between Gold Mover and Extra Heat. They most recently were at Belmont Park in the 6.5 furlong vagrancy. Extra Heat once again asked to give 12 pounds to Mark Henning's Gold Mover.
And they're off in the Princess Rooney Handicap. Toward the inside, Vague Memory moves for the lead. Gold Mover with Extra Heat. 2 lengths back, that's Prized Amber Pro. To the inside, Fly Me Crazy. And on the outside, Sugar and Spice, the early trailer. They move up the backstretch and a speed duel develops. On the outside, it's Extra Heat. At the rail, it's Vague Memory. 2 lengths back, that's Gold Mover sitting as Chilly third. Then it's 2.5 lengths back to the inside, Fly Me Crazy is fourth. 5 lengths to the outside, Sugar and Spice. And now the trailer, Prized Amber Pro. They whistle the first quarter in 21-2. 3 furlongs left to go. Extra Heat now leads by a half length as Gold Mover moves on the outside second. Vague Memory back to third. Fly Me Crazy moves up a closer fourth. There's less than a quarter of a mile to go in the Princess Rooney Handicap. It's Extra Heat that leads by a length. Gold Mover's after a second. It's 3 lengths back toward the inside. That's Fly Me Crazy. They move past the 8th pole. It's Extra Heat in front the length. On the outside, Gold Mover is second. It's 3 lengths back to Fly Me Crazy. They come to the final 16th. On the inside, Extra Heat. On the outside, Gold Mover. It's Gold Mover up in time to win the Princess Rooney. It was Extra Heat second. 6 back, Fly Me Crazy got the show.
Gold Mover under Jerry Bailey, this 9-5 second choice, sits off of another blazing early fractions of 21-2, 44-2. They were set between Vague Memory and Extra Heat. Well, that was enough for Vague Memory as she backed up to finish dead last. Gold Mover, ridden brilliantly by Bailey, sat off of that. Gold Mover, 12 pounds, blistering pace up front, was able to score out and win the $240,000 winner's purse by half a length. Extra Heat, brilliant in defeat at 2-5 on the board. Extra Heat was 7.5 lengths in front of Fly Me Crazy under Georgie Chavez. So Gold Mover, who has been very good at 2, 3, and 4, finally gets the better of the future Hall of Famer Extra Heat, and perhaps we'll see these two at Saratoga in the 7 furlong ballerina. This was the first time Extra Heat was ever defeated by fillies and mares at less than 7 furlongs. The final running time of the Princess Rooney, 1:10.1. We're going to come up to the Jersey Shore and Monmouth Park for the Long Branch Breeders' Cup. This is annually the premier prep race for the $1 million Haskell at Monmouth Park, but it should be noted that no horse has gone on from the Long Branch victoriously and taken down the Grade 1 9 furlong Haskell. So let's go to Monmouth Park and the Long Branch.
They're racing in the Long Branch. Smoked him on the outside, Shah Jahan from the inside, and Puck came out running in third right behind them. Then it's Steventown fourth early, Essayant fifth, and Air de Twine, who started slowly, is last as they race toward the first turn, where Shah Jahan is the leader by a length. Steventown has come through on the inside all the way up into second. He's in a little bit tight quarters there on the rail. Smoked him's alongside of him, and now Steventown will be shuffled back to third. Then a 3 wide Essayant, followed by Puck in fifth. 4 4 lengths off the lead and 2.5 to Air de Twine. And the first quarter was 23 and 4/5 seconds. It's Shah Jahan in front by 3/4 of a length. Smoked him. Essayant to the outside, and Stephen Town holding position at the rail. He's less than 2 lengths from the lead. Then comes Puck, and Air de Twine is last with 6 to make up and a half mile to do it. Shah Jahan has run a half in 47 and 2. Jose Velez and Shah Jahan a length in front. Essayant second on the outside. Stephen Town being asked for more from Koa, and he's not giving it right now. He's 3 lengths off the lead. Stephen Town spinning his wheels in third. Then it's Puck fourth on the outside, followed by Smoked-Em and Air de Twine. It's Essayant turning up the heat outside of Shah Jahan, and they turn for home together. 3/4 in 1:11 flat. They're into the stretch. It's Shah Jahan and Essayant. Stephen Town running on hard, and he is beginning to pick up a better stride on the outside. In the center of the track, it's Puck. It is Shah Jahan alongside Essayant. Here comes Puck on the far outside, and Stephen Town. Puck is coming with a rush, and Puck gets up to win the Long Branch. It was Shah Jahan second, and Stephen Town finished third.
Puck scores out comfortably at almost 5-1 after setting well back at Monmouth Park, which typically cannot be a winning move. Puck fifth in a field of 6 up the backstretch, and it appeared to me as if Shah Jahan, the $4.4 million Wayne Lukas purchase, who has only an allowance non-winners of 2 victory on his resume, had set very comfortable fractions of 23 and 4, 47 and 2, and then 111 for the 6 furlongs. But that was not the case, as all the front runners were run down by Puck, who drew off to win by better than 2 lengths. Shah Jahan was finished second, defeating Stephen Town by a neck. Stephen Town becoming an enigma after running very well at Gulfstream Park. The folks down at Monmouth Park made Stephen Town under Ibar Koa 4-5 on the board after being 9-5 in the morning line, and was able to only do third. Puck, an offspring of Mr. Greeley and Relaunch Sprinting, would seem to be Puck's game based on pedigree. He was able to get the 8.5 furlongs rather successfully. Should he continue on at Monmouth Park and try and jump up from grade 3 company to grade 1 company, I'm sure the waters will get much deeper than the likes of Shah Jahan, Stephen Town, Smoked-Em, Air de Twine. The final running time, 1:44 and 1. I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have 2 stakes races from Colonial Downs. We'll have action from closing day at Lone Star Park, and we'll go north to Canada and Woodbine Racetrack. Please stay tuned.
This year, many thoroughbreds, no longer able to compete, will join the ranks of racing's homeless. Since 1982, the Thoroughbred Retirement Foundation and its supporters have been providing help and hope for those in need, creating opportunities where once there were none. The TRF, together with the racing industry, is meeting the challenge, taking care of their own. Yesterday's innovative concepts, combining the TRF's rescue mission with educational and rehabilitation goals, have become today's life-saving success stories and a track record of unsurpassed growth. Safely retired thoroughbreds are now enjoying second careers, bringing responsibility, healing, and purpose to the lives of those who need it most. With your help, we can continue our saving mission, ensuring many more horses the welcome home they so richly deserve.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go to Virginia and their fine racing from Colonial Downs. We're going to switch to the turf course, the $500,000 listed stakes race, the Virginia Derby, the 5th running. 2 outstanding 3-year-olds that we've seen pick off many turf stakes races of late. Flying Dash for Neil Drysdale and Orchard Park for Bill Mott. They were scheduled to be in the Virginia Derby. So let's go to Colonial Downs and the $500,000 Virginia Derby.
And they're off at Colonial Downs for the Virginia Derby, and it was a perfect start, too. Jeremiah Jack gets away well from the inside gate, and Chris's Prayer is right there with Touring England, and Orchard Park will settle into 4th position early on. Flying Dash shadows that one on the outside, and Root with Style's been taken over inside to save ground by Phil Teeter as they pass us now for the first time. There goes Touring England on the outside, tugging right along to a narrow advantage from Chris's Prayer. Jeremiah Jack is in the 3rd spot, followed by Root with Style in between horses. Root with Style floating a bit wide was Orchard Park by Root with Style, and now Flying Dash has been taken over inside by Victor Espinoza. So a very intriguing opening quarter there. Lots of shuffling action toward the back of the pack. 24 flat was the opening fraction. Up the backstretch now, and Root with Style is tugged right along to the front. This long shot, Root with Style, going up to quicken the pace, and it's going to quicken up here for the second quarter. Root with Style leads the way from Touring England in second, Orchard Park racing third. Flying Dash is now on the inside racing in fourth, and Chris's Prayer bearing out just a bit toward the center of the course. Jeremiah Jack to the back of the pack now, only 5 lengths covers them. They move for the far turn. The half went in 48 2/5 of a second. Didn't really pick it up that much as Touring England on the inside has come back to claim a short lead. Now Root with Style is countered, and Orchard Park is right there on the move as well. And Jeremiah Jack from the back of the pack around the far turn. Flying Dash, 3 lengths in the front. Something amiss there with Chris's Prayer being eased up out of the race. They get to the top of the stretch. On the inside, it's Orchard Park with a narrow lead. Here's Jeremiah Jack running a big one, and Flying Dash got the leaders in sights. Root with Style has dropped back, and so is Touring England. Orchard Park and Flying Dash on the outside now begins to gain momentum. They've left Jeremiah Jack coming to the final furlong of the Virginia Derby. Orchard Park and Edgar Prado going all out. The outside Flying Dash racing a bit erratically, shifting in, and Orchard Park is going to win it. Orchard Park turns back, Flying Dash in the stretch. Orchard Park, Flying Dash was second. Touring England was third, followed by Jeremiah Jack and Root with Style.
Edgar Prado aboard Orchard Park as Jerry Bailey was at Calder. The Virginia Derby, Orchard Park, only 1 defeat on the turf so far this year. That was at Churchill Downs in the Crown Royal. Gets the 1.25 miles. Brilliantly ridden by Edgar Prado. Sat off the early pace as Flying Dash was behind him. Jeremiah Jack, the racehorse who got very good when he got to the turf recently in his career, looked to be in good position at the top of the stretch, but Edgar Prado had much left in Orchard Park, sprinted clear, and thus was able to hold off Flying Dash as this runner for Victor Espinoza and Neil Drysdale. 2 for 2 coming to this country, won at Keeneland, then was first under the line at Hawthorne in their turf stakes race, but subsequently was DQ'd from purse money for a drug infraction. But Orchard Park, who is razor sharp, he is an offspring of Hennessy on Top out of a with approval mare. Hennessy, a sneaky good turf sire with approval, an outstanding distance of ground turf runner in the early 90s. This victory by Bill Mott and Orchard Park, a fine showing. Perhaps we'll see one or both of these shorten up to run in the 9 furlong Hall of Fame up at Saratoga. But the Virginia Derby, soon to be graded one of the premier races for 3-year-olds on the turf, goes to Orchard Park and Bill Mott. A final running time of the Virginia Derby, 2 minutes and 3 flat. The other turf stakes race at Colonial Downs, named after the 1983 Horse of the Year, the All Along Stakes, contested at 1 1/8 miles.
All for the All Along Breeders' Cup. Secret River and Quidnasker striking out to the front, and Cayman Sunset is right there and tugging along early, followed by Golden Corona, the favorite, and Lady of the Future settles in second to last position. The Parting Glass trails the field as Quidnasker is just in front of the first turn from Secret River by a neck. 2.5 lengths back, and Cayman Sunset settles in rating off the lead in third. Favored Golden Corona is fourth and already 6 lengths from the 2 front runners, followed by Lady of the Future, and trailing the field, the Parting Glass. 9 lengths covers them. Quidnasker, Secret River going along up top, and they're 3 lengths clear from Cayman Sunset. Golden Corona now with about 6-7 lengths to close in, followed by Lady of the Future after her, and trailing the field still a Parting Glass and 9 to 10 lengths from lead. Racing up the backstretch now, about 5/8 to go. Quid Nasker relaxing up front, trying to dispose of Secret River. Quid Nasker getting away a bit from Secret River. Cayman Sunset in close attendance to the pace. Golden Corona and Victor Espinoza now 7 lengths in the front. Lady of the Future and trailing the field is the Parting Glass, 8 lengths in the lead. Around the far turn, Quid Nasker, Secret River trying to make another run at her on the outside. Cayman Sunset, Golden Corona, Lady of the Future trying to get interested now. Here comes Golden Corona, Lady of the Future. They're moving in tandem, 2 and 3 wide. Lady Corona has Golden Corona is just in front now as they get to the top of the lane, putting that red cap in front. On the outside, Lady of the Future is coming as well, and Secret River and Quid Nasker, 4 right across the track into the stretch. Secret River, Golden Corona on the outside, Lady of the Future, Quid Nasker weakens, followed by Cayman Sunset through the stretch with a 16 to go. Secret River, Golden Corona, the favorites, really got to work for it. Secret River and Horacio Caramanos hustling down to the line. Victor Espinoza and Golden Corona. Photo finish that goes to Secret River, and Secret River has pulled an upset from Golden Corona. Cayman Sunset was third, and Lady of the Future.
Secret River, a 10-1 shot, scores out by a neck, upsetting the 3-5 shot Golden Corona, as Victor Espinoza finishes second on the chalk in both big races at Colonial Downs. This race, very slow opening quarter mile. Sitting off of it was Secret River. The early pace setter, Quid Nasker, just had nothing left after 6 furlongs, but Secret River sitting second early. Golden Corona 2 back in the early running, and as they picked up the pace dramatically, the final 3/8 of a mile, Secret River just had a little bit extra left and was able to score, returning $22.20 as Golden Corona finishes second, with Cayman Sunset, another long shot at 11-1, finishing third under Phil Teeter. This offspring of Secret Odds out of a Broad Brush mare, final running time for the All Along Stakes, 1:50.3. Next, we're going to go up north to Woodbine. This is a 2-year-old sprint stakes race at 6 furlongs, named after one of the undefeated horses of the 20th century. This is the Collins Stakes.
They're off in the Collins Stakes. Away smartly, Biddy's Lad. Skeet broke in second position to the inside. Rights Reserve, Tackling Stress, fourth in the early going, 3.5 lengths off the lead, and a trailing Try It, You'll Like It. It is Biddy's Lad, and to the inside, Rights Reserve. Biddy's Lad by a neck. Rights Reserved is second. Skeet stocks the speed in third, has a length and 3/4 to make up. The favorite, Tackling Stress, has dropped back 6.5 lengths off the lead, and trailing is Try It, You'll Like It. A quick opening quarter, though, 22 seconds flat, and Skeet ranges up 3 wide to launch an attack on Biddy's Lad and Rights Reserved as they come to the quarter pole. Skeet out there 3 wide, moves well to the inside. His Rights Reserved. Biddy's Lad tails off just a bit. Tackling Stress is up against it, and they're into the lane. Skeet on the outside, to the inside is Rights Reserved. Tackling Stress has hit his best stride now, starts to close a bit. Rights Reserved, very game. Skeet can't stay with Rights Reserved. Tackling Stress 2-8. It is Rights Reserved and Landry to win the Cullen. Tackling Stress comes on late, gets second. Skeet third, and finishing fourth, Biddy's Lad.
Rights Reserved for Rob Landry scores at 7-2 after sitting off the early pace. The 2 chalks on the board at even money was Tackling Stress, and at 3-2 was Skeets under Pat Husband. This offspring of With Approval out of a 49er mare, to me, very shockingly so, wins very early and on the dirt. I wouldn't expect that day in and day out the offsprings of With Approval would be winning summer sprint stakes races on the dirt as 2-year-olds, but Rights Reserved did just that, set off 22 flat, 44-4, picked up the pieces, and wins by better than 3 lengths rather comfortably. Tackling Stress, the chalk well back early. You would think that the pace scenario would have fit his needs, but that wasn't the case. He's able to do only second best at even money. And then Skeet, who sat off the stalking pace at 3-2, was another 2.5 lengths back in third. final running time of the Collins Stakes is 1:11:2. We're going to go to Ellis Park as racing on the Kentucky circuit shifts to their summer home, the Pea Patch, down in central Kentucky. First up is the HBPA for older filly and mares going 1 mile on the dirt.
Off and running in the HBPA handicap. Dorothy Ann springs out on top, headed quickly by Red and Gold between fillies now. Then Patty Peach up the inside is third. Curve ahead, racing in fourth, Braving the Thunder. 4 lengths off the pace in fifth. Then 2 Dots Slew to the outside of Happily Unbridled, who's second last by 3 more. And Gal on the go at the back of the pack. A good 10 off the pace as they wheel onto the backside. Red and Gold and James Lopez opening up by nearly 2 lengths now. The Patty Peach up the inside, racing in second. And then to the outside, a close-up third early is Dorothy Ann. Then it's 2.5 farther back to the inside. Happily Unbridled, the favorite, moving up now just 4 lengths off the pace. To the outside of that comes Braving the Thunder. And behind that, 2 Dots Slew, and 5 farther back to Gal on the go. At the back of the pack, the quarter, 23 1/5 seconds, heading for the turn. Red and Gold loose on the lead. In front by 2 to Dorothy Ann in second. Patty Peach is third, 1.5 lengths. Braving the Thunder moves 3 wide to the outside of Happily Unbridled. And she's laboring now, 8 lengths off the front runner. Then 1.5 lengths back to Curve Ahead, coming under pressure. 2 Dots Slew starts to move up to the outside, and Curve Ahead at the back of the pack to the top of the lane. Half mile and 46 and 3, passing the quarter pole. Red and Gold's got her ears pricked out there. She'll be tough to reel in, clear by 2.5 to Dorothy Ann, second by 3. Happily Unbridled starts to gear it up. She's coming fast up the inside. They turn for home. Red and Gold set down for the drive by James Lopez. Here comes Happily Unbridled. Happily Unbridled going right on by to take the lead, a furlong from home. Gal on the go, a fresh challenger up the inside. Happily Unbridled, Gal on the go is surging. Happily Unbridled, here comes Gal on the go. Happily Unbridled just in front of Gal on the go. Red and Gold third in the HBPA handicap.
Happily Unbridled hasn't had a victory in a long time. 3-5 on the board under Larry Melanson. Is an Elliott Walden runner, wins by a neck in a very, very good duel through the lane, defeating Gal on the go, who was 5-1. And the third choice in the wagering, Red and Gold, finished third. But Happily Unbridled found a spot here, a $100,000 stakes race at Ellis Park to get back in the winner's circle. Was back early, sitting with no early speed. This offspring of Unbridled, who now is 4 years of age for Larry Melanson. Elliott Walden doesn't know where he's going to show up next. He's just happy to get some confidence into Happy Unbridled by winning for the first time since last fall. Happily Unbridled sat off the pace of 23-2, 46-3 as they picked it up. That was perhaps the undoing of Red and Gold. 7 furlongs in 1:24. Took better than 13 seconds to get the final 1/8 of a mile as Gal on the go was just headed out by Happily Unbridled. The final running time of the HBPA handicap was 1:38 flat. Next up, closing day at Lone Star Park brought us the Bob Johnson Memorial Stakes. This is for 3-year-olds and up, also a dirt race contested at 1 mile.
And there they go, smooth start for all. 1cc fires out for the lead with Compendium. Rare Cure comes away in third with Race on Green. Prince Iroquois to the far outside. Further back is Big Numbers, Mountain General, and Unrulable. Into the clubhouse run, 1cc to set the pace. In second is Compendium. He's about 1.5 lengths from the leader. It's more than 4.5 back to Race on Green, covering Rare Cure. Prince Iroquois, 3 wide before the backstretch. It's about 4 to Unrulable. Outside of Mountain General, a similar margin back to Big Numbers. 23 seconds for the opening quarter up the Lone Star Park backstretch. And now with the lead to the outside is Compendium. He's outside of 1cc. They have a 7-length advantage over Race on Green. It's another 1.5 lengths to Rare Cure with Prince Iroquois. 3 back to Mountain General and Unrulable. The distant trailer there is Big Numbers. The half one in a very quick 45 and 4 3/8 to travel. Compendium by 1/2 length. 1cc is second. Race on Green maintains third. He has 4 to make up. Prince Iroquois is gathering momentum to the inside. Mountain General 3 wide. Unrulables 4 wide in the orange. Further back, Rare Cure. They're at the top of the lane in the Bob Johnson Memorial. And with the lead, it's Compendium. 1cc is second. Here comes Mountain General firing into the fray. It's time to recognize Mountain General. He's the horse with the momentum. Mountain General gets the lead. Mountain General front and center in the Bob Johnson Memorial.
Mountain General, 6-1, well back early in this 1 mile contest. Scores by a comfortable one length victory. This race was a perfect example of pace makes the race, a huge pace scenario. Front end speed just cooked as they got the half mile in 45 and 4. A second quarter mile of 22 and 2 set it up perfectly for Mountain General, who was 6th early in this race. Was at the 8th pole, was still 2.5 lengths back, but the deed had been done. Mountain General, offspring of Mountain Cat, not a very popular sire, but one of the leading earners all time for a juvenile. Trained by Steve Asmussen, owned by Keith Asmussen, scores off to win at 6-1. Finishing second was Compendium at 5-1, and third, big numbers at 21-1 as they wrap up the Lone Star meet. The final running time of the Bob Johnson Memorial for the mile, 1:35 and 2. I'm going to take another break. When we come back, we'll have the big stakes action from Hollywood Park, Belmont, and the Irish Derby.
The week before, Saratoga finds closing weekend at Belmont Park. On Saturday, it's the Grade 1 $350,000 Coaching Club American Oaks. Sunday has the $75,000 Evan Shipman Handicap for New York Breds. Delaware Park Saturday offers a Grade 3 $250,000 Delaware Oaks, the $150,000 Robert G. Dick Memorial Breeders' Cup, and the $100,000 R.R.M. Carpenter Jr. Memorial. On Sunday, it's the Grade 3 $600,000 Delaware Handicap, the Grade 3 $250,000 Kent Breeders' Cup Stakes, and the $75,000 Lighthearted. Monmouth Park on Sunday offers a Grade 2 $250,000 Monmouth Breeders' Cup Oaks. Hollywood Park Sunday features a Grade 2 $250,000 Sunset Handicap, and we have a special event from Thistledowns on Saturday. It's the Grade 2 $250,000 Ohio Derby for 3-year-olds. Catch all the action this weekend.
The penultimate weekend at Hollywood Park before racing shifts to Del Mar had a very big card on Sunday afternoon. 3 stakes races. We're going to kick it off with the Grade 2 swaps for 3-year-olds at 1 1/8 miles.
Fonz's broke a half step slow. Came Home is going to the front. Battler Bob put into the race early, and these two match strides. Fonz's recovers and races in third. Then comes Like a Hero and Gobi Dan at the rail. Sugar Babe has one beat. It's Trace Mark as they race at the clubhouse turn. It's Came Home a half length in front of Battler Bob, who attends the pace. No easy leads for Came Home. He's only a neck in front of Battler Bob at the rail. Fonz's settles in third. He's now 2.5 lengths off the lead with Like a Hero and at the rail Gobi Dan. It's a length and a half to Sugar Babe. Now 7 from the front. Trace Mark will have to make up 9 as they turn into the backstretch in the 29th running of the Swap Stakes. Came Home goes the first quarter of a mile in 23 and 2/5 seconds. Battler Bob going to re-engage this time from the outside. Came Home only leads by a neck. Battler Bob is second, 3/4 of a length. Fonz's in striking position third. Like a Hero is asked to go up after the leaders. He moves through under Lafitte at the rail. Like a Hero is only 2.5 lengths from the lead. They go by the half in 47 seconds flat. That's 5 lengths faster than the half mile Came Home won in the affirmed going into the far turn. It is Came Home just in front. He continues to lead. Battler Bob and Fonzes. Like a Hero is at the rail. 3 back to Sugar Babe. Then Goby Dan. Trace Mark has done no running to this point, and Came Home is getting away at the top of the stretch. It is Came Home now 2.5 lengths in front. Like a Hero is asked to run after him, and he does. Here's Like a Hero to draw within a length of 3/4 of the lead. Battler Bob is out of it, as is Fonzes, and they come to the final furlong. Mike Smith and Came Home to the final 1/8 of a mile of the swamps, and they're running away again. Came Home is 3 lengths in front. Like a Hero runs a great race in second. Fonzes is third, but Came Home is just too good. Came Home has done it again. Came Home wins by 1.5 lengths. Like a Hero is second, Fonzes third, and Battler Bob finished fourth.
Came Home does it again. Only time defeated the Breeders' Cup and the Kentucky Derby. Came Home's new rider, Mike Smith, as Came Home's former rider, Chris McCarron, has retired. Came Home 1-2 on the board. 9 furlongs, I think, certainly under the right circumstances, is about as far as Came Home wants to go. But this was a brilliant ride by Mike Smith. This horse is all heart and all talent. Every step was a winning one. Early fractions, 23-2, 47 flat. Picked it up the middle quarter mile, 110-3. Came Home draws off to win by better than a length at 1-2. Like a Hero, first start since the debacle in the Belmont Stakes, finishes a comfortable second, and 5.5 lengths behind the runner-up position was Fonzes at 13-1. Came Home, a horse now. What spot next for Paco Gonzalez, as most of the racing for 3-year-olds at Del Mar is turf racing? Perhaps they'll shorten them up and come east to the Grade 1 King's Bishop. Last summer, Came Home won the Hopeful Stakes at 7 furlongs, but this offspring of Gone West out of a Clever Trick mare, just very, very professional. The final running time of the swaps, 1:48.1. Next up on the card at Hollywood Park was the $750,000 premier race at the Spring Summer Meet at Hollywood Park, the Hollywood Gold Cup. Wait for Age, short field in here. Milwaukee Brew, who has gotten razor sharp in the barn of Bobby Frankel. Skyjack, Momentum, 6-horse field for the Hollywood Gold Cup. So let's return to Hollywood Park.
They're off. Skyjack and Digfrid shows speed. Machineo and Momentum 4 across the track early as Momentum, Digfrid, and Skyjack go quickly to the front, and Skyjack puts his neck in front. Machineo attends the pace. No easy leads today for Skyjack as Machineo, a big long shot, moves through from the inside, and Lafitte takes an aggravated look over at Machineo. Skyjack's a 1/2 length in front. Machineo is second by 1.5 lengths now, with Momentum 3 deep and Digfrid just inside of him. Dollar Bill settles in fifth. He's 7 from the front, and Milwaukee Brew is already 12 lengths off the lead as they turn into the backstretch. 23 2/5 seconds. A solid pace for Skyjack, and he leads 3/4 of a length from long shot Machineo, who keeps him honest on the front end. Momentum is less than 1.5 lengths from the front. Digfrid is between horses, and the top 4 are separated by 2 lengths as they go by the half in 46 4/5 seconds. Dollar Bill races in 5th. He's got 4.5 to come, and then 8 lengths last to Milwaukee Brew. He'll have to make up 12 in the final half mile of the 63rd Hollywood Gold Cup as they go into the far turn. Here comes Momentum to take up the running outside of Skyjack. Skyjack has had pressure throughout, and he only leads by a 1/2 length. Momentum is second. Dollar Bill is about to take third. He draws within 2.5 of the lead. Digfrid is between horses in 4th. Machineo is out of it. He drops back to 5th. Milwaukee Brew still has 10 lengths to make up as they race to the top of the stretch in the Hollywood Gold Cup. It is still Skyjack with Momentum pressing him to the outside. Milwaukee Brew is 5th, but he's about to be 3rd. Milwaukee Brew draws within 6 of the lead, and they head for home. Momentum and Skyjack. These two match strides to the final furlong. Momentum's ahead in front. Skyjack has to battle back from the inside. Milwaukee Brew's got too far to come. It is Skyjack and Momentum to the wire. It's a thriller. Skyjack back at him. Momentum to the inside. Skyjack, Momentum, Skyjack, and Momentum right together. I think it's Skyjack, but it is a bob of the noses. Very close. Skyjack and Momentum. Milwaukee Brew finished 3rd.
An outstanding ride by the man who has ridden more race winners than anybody in thoroughbred racing, Lafitte Pincay. Skyjack didn't have the early lead that many of us felt he would get in the Hollywood Gold Cup. He was being dueled by Machino, who backed up to finish dead last. Skyjack, though, very tough. At the top of the lane, it appeared as if momentum, the 7-2 third choice in the wagering, might be getting the better of Skyjack under Garrett Gomez, but that wasn't the case. Lafitte Pincay showing us why for about the last 30 years he has been at the top of the game. Incredible strength showed by Pincay as he just would not let Skyjack lose the Grade 1 Hollywood Gold Cup. Momentum did finish second. Milwaukee Brew, who is 7-5 in the wagering and had won the Mervyn Leroy at 9 furlongs very impressively. First race since winning the Big Cap at Santa Anita, was way back early, a runner who probably enjoys the 10 furlongs, but the speed at Hollywood Park just wasn't coming back, left him little to do, and he finishes third, beaten better than 3 lengths as the choice. Dollar Bill shipped out west for this engagement to finish fourth. Biggest career win for the young trainer Doug O'Neill. The final running time of the Gold Cup, 2 minutes 1 3/5 of a second. Next up, the Gleam, a Grade 2 race, 7 furlongs for older fillies and mares. The outstanding sprinting filly Colloquian Queen, who 2 races back defeated the boys, was the favorite.
They're up. Good start. Secret Liaison, Queen of Wilshire, Ergens Angel, and Collect Call all race out for the lead, joined 5 deep by Colloquian Queen, and Skyriding between horses. 6 of them tried for the early lead. Secret Liaison narrowly in front. Song of Summer, Roly Poly, and Seme Acabo in the second flight, and the trailer is Warren's Whistle as they fire up the backstretch. Secret Liaison has the lead. She's 3/4 of a length in front of Skyriding. Colloquian Queen attends the pace. She's in the orange 3 deep and now 1.5 lengths from the front. Ergens Angel settles into a good striking spot, 4th with 2.5 to come. Queen of Wilshire is 5th. She's 5 off the lead. To the outside and Collect Call, Roly Poly between horses, and then comes Song of Summer. They're all about 8 from the lead. Warren's Whistle is out of last place, but she's got 10 to come, and the trailer is Seme Acabo as they race to the top of the stretch. In the 48th Ugleam Handicap, Secret Liaison running a huge race. Secret Liaison to the quarter pole, 3.5 lengths in front. Colloquian Queen has to fly now. Skyriding under the whip at the rail. Ergens Angel outside of the favorite, and they come to the final furlong. It is Secret Liaison. She reaches for the final 1/8 of a mile, 3 lengths in front of Ergens Angel. Colloquian Queen is defeated. She's back in third. Warren's Whistle with a late run. Secret Liaison. Ergens Angel trying to nail her on the money in the Gleam. She might have her. Secret Liaison. Ergens Angel right together. Ergens Angel! Ergens Angel nailed. Secret Liaison on the money. Colloquian Queen third, and Warren's Whistle finished 4th.
Ergens Angel under Eddie Delahousse wins the Gleam Handicap. Secret Liaison under Kent Desormo finishes 2nd, and Colloquian Queen, the high weight at 122, bet down to even money, sat off the early pace, which was probably far too hot for those runners. She was only able to finish 3rd as Eddie Delahousse kept Ergens Angel off of the 21-3, 44 flat for the half mile, 108-4. That was the undoing for Secret Liaison and Colloquian Queen. I think they were very good to finish 2nd and 3rd, but Eddie Delahousse, as he's done for many, many years in prototypical Eddie Delahousse fashion, sat off the pace and had enough horse and wins the Gleam under Ergens Angel by a head at 5-1. The final running time after those blistering early fractions of the Gleam Handicap, 1:22-2. Shipping east to Belmont Park, the penultimate weekend at Belmont Park. 2 turf stakes races on the docket. First up on Saturday was the 1 3/8 on the inner turf course, the Bowling Green.
And they're off. El Tawasul, Whitmore's Khan, Star Tack, Moon Solitaire, Phi Beta Doc down toward the inside on the far outside Illusionary. No one's really anxious for the lead here. It's Moon Solitaire, who's now got a narrow advantage in the early going. Illusionary alongside, running along in second. And StarTech gets a good spot early. He's down on the inside, tucked away in behind the lead, running along in third. Proud Man's alongside him in fourth. El Tawasul on the hedge is now fifth, followed by Whitmore's Con sixth on the outside. A break of 3 to 5 Beta Doc, another 4 back to Staging Post, and the early trailer will be Gritty Sandy. The opening quarter went in 24 1/5 seconds, and now it's Moon Solitaire with a clear lead. Moon Solitaire in front, Illusionary sitting just off in second. StarTech continues a ground-saving journey while in third. Proud Man is well held in fourth. El Tawasul quite comfortable in fifth position. Whitmore's Con is sixth. A break of another 4 back to 5 Beta Doc, and it's another 3 or 4 lengths back to Staging Post. The trailer remains Gritty Sandy. The half went in 49 seconds flat. A reasonable pace here. Moon Solitaire still on top. Illusionary's been in no hurry to go by. And StarTech enjoys a perfect trip so far. There's 5 furlongs to go. Proud Man's alongside him, followed by El Tawasul, Whitmore's Con, 5 Beta Doc. Staging Post has now asked for his run, but he's got a lot to do. He's about 15 lengths from the lead, and farther back, the trailer remains Gritty Sandy. On the far turn, after 3 quarters and 1:13 3, it's still Moon Solitaire in front. Illusionary now turning up the pressure in second. StarTech right there in behind the lead. He's running along in third. On the outside, Proud Man being asked to pick it up. He's fourth. Whitmore's Con will be fanned wide into the stretch. El Tawasul will try to come through on the inside. Staging Post is caught up to the front runners, 5 lengths from the front as they come down to the final furlong. Moon Solitaire's in a full-out drive. Here comes Illusionary. Here comes Whitmore's Con powerfully on the outside. Proud Man, Staging Post, StarTech down toward the rail. And it's Whitmore's Con. Whitmore's Con coming on to get it as they come under the line. Whitmore's Con the winner by 2, followed by Staging Post, very close for third, among StarTech, Gritty Sandy, and Moon Solitaire.
And in an upset, Sean Bridgman guides Whitmore's Con at almost 15 to 1 to victory in the Bowling Green, defeating Staging Post, who was way back early, and the 5 to 2 choice in this 9-horse field for the Bowling Green handicap. But Whitmore's Con looked as though it was anybody's race at the 8th pole, but Sean Bridgman, brilliant race riding on this long shot, defeats Staging Post. The second choice in the wagering, Moon Solitaire, under John Velasquez, who has had a brilliant meet this spring-summer at Belmont Park, finishes third. Randy Schulhofer trains Whitmore's Con. This is a young man who was taking over for his retired father and doing very well on his own. The final running time, 2:13 2. Next up on Sunday at Belmont Park was the Lexington on the turf at 1.25 miles for just 3-year-olds.
And they're off. Union Place, Your Jewels, Finality, and Emergency Status. And it's those 4 as they race for the clubhouse turn. Emergency Status now is sent on his way to take a narrow lead. It's Emergency Status, a short lead. Your Jewels right alongside him. And Finality just off the lead and gets a good spot early. He's running along in third position. Rumsplasher down the hedge is now fourth, followed by Union Place. Irish Colonial is well in hand near the back of the pack, followed by Robbie's Rockin'. And the favorite, Chiseling. Chiseling is the last of them all. Chiseling's about 10 or 12 lengths from the leaders. And the leaders are Emergency Status and Your Jewels. The first quarter, 24 2/5 seconds. They begin that long run down the backstretch now. Emergency Status with steady pressure from Your Jewels. 4 lengths back to Finality, running along in third position. On the outside, Union Places rating in fourth. Rumsplasher continues down on the inside. A break of another 3 to an unhurried Irish Colonial, followed by Robbie's Rockin'. Now Jerry Bailey wants a bit more from Chiseling now, and they're on their way with 5 furlongs to go. The half went in 48 2/5 seconds. The field moving into the far turn. Emergency Status and Your Jewels. They've been 1-2 all the way around the track. There's 4 furlongs to go. Emergency Status and Your Jewels, 1-2 into the far turn. Finality is being asked to pick it up. He's now third on the outside and getting closer to the leaders. There goes Union Place now. He's up into fourth. Rumsplasher has asked for a bit more toward the inside. Chiseling is drawn within 4 lengths of the lead. He's behind a wall of horses now. Irish Colonial has been let loose, and he takes to the far outside. It's a tight pack that turns for home. Rocky's Robin came off the turn wide and bumped with Chiseling. There's 1 furlong to go here. On the inside, it's Finality with a short lead. Union Place fights on. Chiseling driving hard. Irish Colonial on the far outside. Finality's in front. Chiseling driving to him. Irish Colonial far outside third. Finality and Chiseling. Those two under the line. It's a head bob that appeared to go to Chiseling, very close in a photo with Finality. Irish Colonial was third, and Union Place was fourth.
Chiseling wins the Lexington under Jerry Bailey, trained by Bobby Frankel, who is having perhaps a better year than he had last year when he won the Eclipse Award, another runner owned by Juddmonte Farms. Chiseling broke rather poorly, was dead last in the early running, but under Jerry Bailey, no panic on this 6-5 shot. Finality, the New York bred, who is razor sharp, looked to be going very well, but Chiseling ran him down. Finality, 5-2, the second choice, as this New York bred has acclimated himself to the turf very well. Irish Colonial under Jose Santos, who is having a very, very good spring and summer, was on a 16-1 shot, finishes third. But Chiseling tops the Lexington handicap. The final running time, a very, very good 2 minutes and 2/5 of a second. Wrapping up the racing, we're going to go to the Curragh and the Irish Derby, the Budweiser Irish Derby, if you would. High Chaparral trying to become the third runner in a row to win both the Epsom Derby and the Irish Derby double. Sindar and Galileo having done it the last 2 years. So let's go across the pond to the Curragh and the Budweiser Irish Derby.
All 9 locked away for the big one, and away they go with Ballingarry, the early leader. Nicean up there on the outside, and Sholokov predictably moving up now along the inside to take up the running. Sholokov and Paul Scallon going on from Nicean and Ballingarry. High Chaparral a couple of lengths back in fourth, followed by In Time's Eye. Then comes Ballacary, and behind Ballacary, Jazzbeat, Della Francesca towards the back, and last of the 9 in the early stages is Princely Venture. They race along the far side, complete the first quarter mile, and Sholokov going a good gallop, leads by about 3 lengths to Ballingarry, the Italian Derby runner-up in second. Nicean third under Richard Hughes. Then 2 lengths away, McKinnon and the odds-on favourite High Chaparral, followed by In Time's Eye, and then comes Ballacary. Behind Ballacary is Jazzbeat with Princely Venture on his outside, and Della Francesca brings up the rear as they race on now past the mile pole, and Sholokov in the lead by about 4 lengths to Ballingarry. A 3-length break then to Nicean in third, then another 2.5 lengths to High Chaparral, followed by In Time's Eye. They're in single file as they pass the 7 and start to climb up the hill. Sholokov from Ballingarry in second. In third place comes Nicean, then comes High Chaparral in 4, In Time's Eye, Ballacary, Jazzbeat, then Princely Venture, and back at the tail of the field is Della Francesca. They're coming up now to the halfway point, and as they pass it, Sholokov continues to lead them by 2.5 lengths. Ballingarry is second. In third place, Nicean. High Chaparral is in 4, being tracked by Ballacary. In Time's Eye is next, and then Jazzbeat, Princely Venture, and Della Francesca brings up the rear. They start the descent towards the straight. Sholokov from Ballingarry, Nicean in 3. The favourite poised to make his move in 4. High Chaparral, Ballacary's behind him, being pushed along by Pat Edery. Then In Time's Eye, Della Francesca the inside of Jazzbeat as they start the turn for home with 3 furlongs to race, and it's Sholokov from Ballingarry, Nicean. High Chaparral's in pursuit in 4th place. Ballacary is next. They're down towards the 2. Sholokov and Ballingarry out in front. High Chaparral coming there now on the outside. Nicean running a big race there, clear as they race inside the last 2 furlongs. Sholokov on the far rail, the leader from Ballingarry. High Chaparral on the outside, having to work Nicean in between them. They pass the furlong pole, and High Chaparral comes there now to take it up. He's awake and going away as they race inside the final furlong. High Chaparral, pushed out by McKinnon, is going away to win this in good style. The 15th horse to complete the Epsom Curragh Derby double. He does so handsomely. Second place for Sholokov, and it looks as if Aidan O'Brien might have done a 1-2-3 again. Ballingarry possibly just third ahead of Nicean.
And High Chaparral, very convincing winner under Mick Kinane, trained by the brilliant, brilliant Aidan O'Brien. Aidan O'Brien goes 1, 2, 3. The magnificent sire Sadler's Well does even better than that. High Chaparral How many more worlds to conquer for this 3-year-old? Seems to be the best at a distance of ground in Europe this year. Perhaps one more race before the Arc in France in October. Perhaps High Chaparral will take on his elders, but after seeing this performance in the Irish Derby, this 3-year-old looks as though he will be very, very tough. Shalikoff finishes second. Ballingarry finishes third in the Irish Derby. The final running time, 2 minutes, 32 seconds, and 1/5. Well, that wraps up this week's show. Much attention draws as Hollywood Park and Belmont Park come to a close as the summer season gets underway. They're already racing at Ellis Park in Kentucky, and in just a few short days, they'll be at Del Mar on the left coast, and they'll be at beautiful Saratoga on July 24th. Well, that wraps it up. Have a great week. Enjoy the racing.